Imagine 1865.
Yeah.
You know, the smoke is clearing from the battlefields,
Hmm.
and the Civil War is finally over.
Yeah,
The nation is just breathing this collective sigh of relief.
absolutely.
You can almost hear the church bells ringing.
Oh, yeah.
You know, see the flags
That's
waving.
momentous time.
There's this tangible feeling of hope in the air.
The dawn of a new era, really.
It's like the country, after 4 long years of bloodshed
Right.
and division, is finally ready to come back together,
To heal.
to heal. And leading the way is Abraham Lincoln,
Yeah.
a man who guided the nation through its darkest hour.
He really was a symbol of unity, a beacon of hope.
He was a symbol of unity, a beacon of hope, and his vision for a reconciled America
Yeah.
was starting to take shape.
He was very committed to a peaceful
Hmm.
and lasting reunification.
So Lincoln's focus is on this complex,
Yeah.
ambitious plan
He was ambitious
for reconstruction
to bring the Confederate States. That really emphasized forgiveness,
back into the Union.
reconciliation,
Oh,
rebuilding
yeah.
the South.
A future where
Uh,
former enemies could coexist as one nation.
Yeah. While the nation is celebrating the end of this war.
Yeah.
In the shadows, there's this plot
There is.
fueled by rage
And a desperate desire to cling to those old ways.
and a desperate desire to cling to the old ways.
Yeah.
John Wilkes Booth, a famous actor and Confederate sympathizer,
Right.
is about to shatter this fragile peace
Yes.
with an act of violence
A horrific
that will
act.
just echo through history.
It really did.
So Booth's actions, they were born out of resentment
They
toward Lincoln and everything he represented.
He really resented Lincoln's policies,
Right.
especially his stance on abolishing slavery
And giving rights to Black Americans.
and granting rights to Black Americans,
Booth saw this as a direct assault on his own worldview.
a worldview that was really rooted in white supremacy
A worldview rooted in white supremacy.
and this idea of the Southern way of life.
Absolutely.
So while Lincoln is laying the groundwork
Right.
for peace and equality,
Yeah.
Booth is meticulously planning to assassinate him,
Stark contrast.
to strike a blow
Yeah.
against the very heart of the Union.
At the heart of it all.
In this deep dive,
Yeah.
we are piecing together the events leading up to that fateful night.
We'll look at a lot of different sources.
We'll be drawing from a fascinating range of sources.
Yeah.
We have Booth's own words preserved in this chilling letter,
It's really chilling.
almost a manifesto justifying his actions,
It gives us a glimpse into his mind.
offering a glimpse
Yeah.
into the mind of a man consumed by hate.
Consumed by hate.
We'll also be examining eyewitness accounts, historical records,
Of course.
and the reactions of everyday Americans
To paint a vivid picture.
to really paint a vivid picture of this tumultuous time.
Absolutely.
And of course, we'll look at Lincoln's leadership
Yeah.
during this critical period.
Oh, critical period.
His vision for the future,
Right.
his commitment to reconciliation,
And the impact of his death.
and that profound impact his death had on the nation.
Absolutely.
So it's a story of political intrigue,
Yeah.
ideological clashes,
Mm-hmm.
and this pivotal moment in American history
It really is.
that continues to shape our understanding of leadership,
Mm-hmm.
justice,
And that enduring legacy of Lincoln.
and the enduring legacy of Abraham Lincoln.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's set the stage.
Okay.
The date is April 9th, 1865.
Right.
News of Robert E. Lee's surrender at Appomattox Courthouse just sends shockwaves across the nation.
It spread like wildfire.
Washington, D.C. erupts in
The
celebration.
people were ecstatic.
There's this collective release
Years of uncertainty and bloodshed.
after years of uncertainty and bloodshed.
Yeah.
Can you describe the atmosphere?
The mood in Washington was electric.
Electric.
Yeah, people were pouring into the streets,
Yeah.
cheering, singing, dancing.
Wow.
There were impromptu parades, fireworks lit up the night sky, and it just felt like this weight had been lifted from the nation's shoulders.
So in the midst of all this joyous chaos,
Yeah.
President Lincoln returns to Washington
From visiting Grant's army.
from a visit to General Grant's army in Virginia.
Right.
I imagine he was greeted like a conquering hero.
Absolutely. Lincoln was the embodiment of the Union's victory. People were so eager to express their gratitude,
Yeah.
their admiration for him.
But even in this moment of triumph,
Right.
Lincoln is focused on the task ahead,
He was always looking forward.
healing the wounds of war and rebuilding a nation.
The true leader.
A true leader. And just a few days later, on April 11th,
Okay.
Lincoln gives a speech From the White House balcony
Yeah, to a big crowd.
to this large crowd gathered below.
Below.
This speech, focusing on Reconstruction, the way forward, is going to be a key part of our story today.
It's very insightful.
So what can you tell us about this speech?
So this speech, it's a window into Lincoln's post-war thinking.
Okay.
He emphasizes unity. Okay.
Forgiveness.
Forgiveness.
And a measured approach
Right.
to
Yeah.
Reconstruction.
So he doesn't want to rush into things. He even uses this clever analogy, comparing the newly formed government in Louisiana to an egg.
To an egg.
To an egg. He says that trying to force change too quickly to smash the egg, so to speak, would be counterproductive.
So he's advocating for patience.
Absolutely. Patience and a gradual process.
Gradual process.
Of healing and rebuilding.
Of healing and rebuilding.
Yeah.
But not everyone shared Lincoln's vision.
Of course not.
Lurking within that crowd was John Wilkes Booth.
Right.
Seething with anger at Lincoln's words.
Seething.
So tell me about Booth and his reaction to this speech.
Well, Booth was already deeply disillusioned with how the war had ended.
Right.
And he just harbored this fervent hatred for Lincoln.
He did.
He really did. He saw Lincoln's policies.
Especially his support for black suffrage.
Especially the support for black suffrage.
As a betrayal of everything he believed in.
A complete betrayal.
When Lincoln suggested that some black men,
specifically veterans,
and those deemed intelligent, should be granted the right to vote.
It was a tipping point for Booth.
It was a tipping point.
Yeah, he saw this as a direct threat to white supremacy.
White supremacy.
And he vowed that this would be Lincoln's last speech.
So while the nation's celebrating and looking toward this future of peace and unity, Booth is consumed by rage.
Fueled by rage.
And plotting revenge.
Yeah.
And his assassination plan really starts to take shape.
It does.
In the days following this speech.
It starts to solidify.
Right.
And it's important to remember that he wasn't alone.
He wasn't acting alone.
He had assembled a group.
He had co-conspirators.
These co-conspirators, had they been involved in previous plots?
Some of them had been involved in earlier plots to kidnap Lincoln.
To kidnap Lincoln.
Yeah.
So they shared Booth's hatred. They shared that hatred
for the president.
And his policies.
And his policies.
They were ready for drastic action.
So as Lincoln navigates this complexity of Reconstruction, tries to usher in this new era of healing, Booth and his accomplices are finalizing their deadly scheme.
It's a chilling contrast.
It's a chilling contrast, isn't it?
Yeah. On one hand, you have a leader.
Yeah.
Striving for unity and peace.
And on the other, this group driven by hate.
Driven by hate.
Plotting to tear it all down.
It really highlights the fragility of peace.
Wow.
And the enduring power of these extremist ideologies.
The enduring power of these extremist ideologies.
But before we get into the specifics of Booth's plot, let's look closer at Lincoln's final days. These days filled with this strange mix of premonitions, moments of joy, and an almost eerie sense of foreboding.
This brings us to Good Friday, April 14th, 1865.
A day etched in American memory.
A day that will forever be etched in American memory.
Right.
Lincoln is in remarkably high spirits.
It's strange.
He spends the morning discussing Reconstruction.
With his cabinet.
With his cabinet.
Yeah.
Takes a carriage ride with his wife, Mary, and even jokes about needing a bodyguard.
It's like he had a premonition.
It's almost as if he has a premonition of what is to come.
There are accounts of him telling Mary that they should be more cheerful.
In the future.
In the future. Yeah, reminiscing about their life in Springfield.
Wow.
Even making plans for travel after his presidency.
It's a poignant contrast.
Yeah.
To the darkness that's about to unfold.
A stark contrast.
And that evening, Lincoln and Mary, along with this young couple, Badger Henry Rathbone and his fiancée Clara Harris, decide to attend a performance of Our American Cousin.
At Ford's Theater.
At Ford's Theater.
Yeah.
This decision, as we know, will have fatal consequences.
It will.
Lincoln had received numerous threats.
Against his life.
Against his life.
Many of his advisors thought it was too risky.
For him to attend the theater.
Especially with the announcement in the newspapers.
Especially since his presence had been announced in the papers.
Right.
But Lincoln, eager to enjoy a night of normalcy, and perhaps send a message of confidence to the nation. Decides to go anyway.
A fateful decision.
And while Lincoln is settling into his seat at the theater,
unaware of the danger
lurking just outside his door, John Wilkes Booth is putting the final touches on his assassination plot.
He's gathering his co-conspirators.
He has gathered his co-conspirators Lewis Powell, George Atzerodt, and David Harold. And he's assigned them their targets.
He has.
So Powell is to assassinate Secretary of State William Seward.
Right.
Atzerodt is to kill Vice President Andrew Johnson. And Harold is to help Booth escape.
After he assassinates Lincoln?
After he assassinates Lincoln. Each of these assassination attempts
are all intertwined.
Unfolds with its own dramatic twists and turns. A web of events that will forever be intertwined.
With that tragedy at Ford's Theater.
So we have this multi-pronged attack unfolding simultaneously.
Yeah.
What happens with Atzerodt?
Right.
He's tasked with killing Vice President Johnson.
Atzerodt's part of the story is interesting. It's a study in hesitation.
Okay.
And ultimately failure. He checks into the Kirkwood House Hotel.
Okay.
Where Johnson is staying.
Okay.
Even makes his way to the bar.
Okay.
But as that appointed time approaches, he just can't bring himself to do it.
Interesting. It's like a crisis of conscience, maybe?
It's hard to say for sure what was going through his mind.
Right.
But the weight of the act, the potential consequences, they seem to have overwhelmed him.
He just abandons the mission.
It doesn't.
Disappears.
Vanishes into the night.
A stark contrast to Lewis Powell.
Yeah.
Who approaches his target Secretary of State, William Seward, with this terrifying determination.
It was a brutal attack.
Powell's attack is brutal.
He arrives at Seward's home claiming to have medicine.
Oh, wow.
Uses deception to gain entry.
So he tricks his way in.
Yeah. And when Seward's son, Frederick, tries to block him.
Yeah.
Powell pistol whips him.
Oh my gosh.
Fractures his skull.
Just the thought of that violence is chilling.
What?
What happens next?
So Powell forces his way into Seward's bedroom.
Okay.
Seward's already bedridden.
Right. We're recovering from that carriage accident.
Yeah. And Powell attacks him.
With a knife.
With a Bowie knife slashing at his face and neck.
Oh my gosh.
Seward's daughter Fanny and a soldier who's assigned to guard him try to intervene.
Yeah.
And they're injured in the struggle.
So absolute chaos in the Seward household?
Yeah.
What's the outcome?
Remarkably, despite the severity of his wounds, the brutality of the attack,
Seward survives.
But Powell realizes he's lost the element of surprise.
Right.
And his escape is compromised.
Yeah.
So he flees into the night.
So 2 down.
Yeah.
And both unsuccessful.
Right. Yeah.
But of course, we know the fate of the main target.
Yes.
President Lincoln.
The president.
Let's turn our attention to Booth.
Okay.
And his meticulously planned actions at Ford's Theater.
Booth knew Ford's Theater well.
He did.
Like the back of his hand.
As a famous actor, he had performed on that stage numerous times.
And
he uses this to his advantage.
He does.
Carefully plotting his entry.
His approach and his escape route.
It's almost like a stage production in itself.
It is a dark and twisted one.
Yeah, a dark and twisted one.
He arrives at the theater early.
Okay.
Leaves his horse with a stagehand.
Okay.
Stashes a gun and a knife in the presidential box.
Wow.
And he even visits a nearby saloon.
Oh, really?
Maybe to calm his nerves.
Okay.
Just waiting for the precise moment to strike.
And that moment comes during the third act of the play.
It does around 10:15 p.m.
10:15 p.m.
The audience is in a good mood.
Yeah.
They're caught up in the comedy.
Right.
And ironically, their laughter provides Booth with the perfect cover.
Wow.
He slips back into the theater, knowing that noise will mask the gunshot.
It's almost unthinkable.
It is.
This juxtaposition of lighthearted entertainment and this calculated darkness that's about to unfold.
That's a chilling thought.
He enters the presidential box unnoticed.
Yes.
Lincoln is seated with his wife, Mary.
And their guests.
Yeah. Booth raises his Derringer pistol.
Aims at the back of Lincoln's head.
And fires that fatal shot.
The bullet pierces Lincoln's brain,
lodging behind his right eye.
Oh my gosh, that sudden silence after the gunshot.
Must have been palpable.
I imagine the nation's laughter just abruptly extinguished.
And then pandemonium erupts. Mary screams.
Oh my God.
Booth leaps from the box onto the stage. Breaks his leg in the process.
Yeah. Shouts, Sic semper tyrannis.
Which means?
It's Latin for thus always to tyrants.
Wow.
And escapes through a back door.
Where his horse is waiting.
And
Lincoln, the man who steered the nation through this storm.
This terrible storm.
Of civil war, lay mortally wounded.
Mortally wounded.
What happens next?
Lincoln is carried across the street to a boarding house.
Okay.
The Peterson house.
The Peterson house?
He clings to life throughout the night, surrounded by his cabinet members' doctors.
And his grief-stricken wife.
His grief-stricken wife, Mary.
Word spreads rapidly. A crowd gathers outside.
Anxious for news.
Anxiously awaiting any news about his condition.
About his condition.
And while the nation is holding its breath.
Hoping against hope.
Hoping against hope.
Booth is making his escape.
Does he manage to get away?
He does for a time.
For a time.
He and David Harold flee south, relying on a network of Confederate sympathizers. It's a desperate journey.
Yeah.
Harold,
with that broken leg adding to the difficulty.
Absolutely, constantly looking over his shoulder.
Knowing that the nation is hunting for him.
The entire nation is after him.
So while the country mourns,
right,
this massive manhunt is underway.
It is.
Who's leading the charge?
Secretary of War Edwin Stanton.
Okay.
A man known for his efficiency and ruthlessness.
He takes charge.
He does federal troops detectives, local informants.
Wow.
Everyone is mobilized.
The nation's resources are poured into this.
Poured into capturing Lincoln's assassins.
It's fascinating to think about Booth's state of mind.
Yeah.
During this escape.
During his escape.
He committed this shocking act.
Yeah, intending to spark chaos.
Intending to spark chaos.
Right.
But the nation's response is grief.
Grief and unity.
Unity, not the uprising he might have hoped for.
Not at all.
So there's this sense of tragedy in Booth's final days.
Yes.
He's reading these newspaper accounts of his actions.
Right.
And he becomes increasingly disillusioned.
He does.
This act intended to cripple the Union seems to have had the opposite effect.
The opposite, solidifying Lincoln's image.
Solidifying Lincoln's image.
As a martyr.
As a martyr. As a symbol of national unity.
Yeah, a symbol of national unity.
The chase continues. How and where does it end?
So 12 days after the assassination.
12 days.
Federal troops acting on a tip.
Okay.
Track Booth and Harold to a tobacco barn.
What's tobacco barn?
On the Garrett farm in Virginia.
Okay.
Harold surrenders.
But Booth refuses.
Booth refuses. The soldiers set fire to the barn.
Oh my gosh.
And Sergeant Boston Corbett, defying orders,
shoots
Booth, fatally wounding him.
So Booth's run for freedom ends in this fiery confrontation.
Yeah.
His life consumed by the flames of his own making.
Consumed by the flames.
But the repercussions of his act are far from over.
They are far from over, War. The nation is reeling from the loss of its leader.
How to move forward without Lincoln.
How to rebuild and reconcile.
That becomes even more urgent.
It does.
And then there's the matter of justice. What happens to Booth's co-conspirators?
Yeah, what happens to them?
That's where we'll pick up next time.
Okay.
With the trials, the verdicts, and the nation grappling with the aftermath.
The aftermath of this profound tragedy.
So we left off with John Wilkes Booth's death.
Right.
And the capture of his co-conspirators.
Yeah.
The nation is mourning. A manhunt is concluded.
Right.
But there's still this sense of unfinished business.
There is, you're right.
So what happens to the people involved in this conspiracy?
Well, a military tribunal is convened.
Okay.
And the trial of the 8 alleged conspirators begins.
When does that start?
In May 1865.
May 1865.
It's a highly charged event.
Yeah, I bet.
The nation wants answers.
They want justice.
Want someone held responsible.
For this shattering loss.
For this unbelievable loss.
And who are these individuals? Were they all directly involved?
It's a mixed bag.
Okay.
You have figures like Mary Surratt, the owner of the boarding house.
Right, where Booth and his associates would meet.
Where they often met.
Right.
And her role is debated to this day.
Oh, really?
Was she a knowing participant?
Right.
Or just caught up in events beyond her control?
Interesting.
Then you have David Harold, who aided Booth's escape.
Right.
Lewis Powell, who attacked Seward.
Right.
And George Atzerodt, who failed to carry out
his assigned assassination.
The assassination of Vice President Johnson.
Right. So the trial unfolds, evidence is presented.
Yeah.
And ultimately, verdicts are reached.
They are? Okay. What's the outcome?
It's swift and decisive.
Okay.
4 of the accused, Mary Surratt, Lewis Powell, David Harold, and George Atzerodt are found guilty.
Wow.
And sentenced to death.
By hanging?
By hanging. The other 4 received prison sentences.
And that must have been a controversial verdict.
It was.
Particularly in the case of Mary Surratt.
Especially for Mary Surratt.
The first woman executed.
By the U.S. federal government. By the U.S. federal government.
Her case is still controversial.
Even today.
With questions about her involvement.
And the fairness of the trial.
And the fairness of her trial.
But for many at the time, This verdict served as retribution.
As a way to close the chapter.
A way to close the chapter on this horrific event.
On this horrific crime.
So as the trials conclude,
right,
justice, at least in the eyes of the government, is served.
Yeah.
The nation begins to process this grief on a grand scale.
Yeah.
Tell me about Lincoln's funeral and how the country mourned.
So on April 19th, just 4 days after the assassination,
4 days.
a grand funeral is held at the White House.
At the White House.
A somber affair with dignitaries.
Government officials.
Government officials and Lincoln's family.
The East Room, I imagine, was draped in black.
It was draped in black.
And there's this massive catafalque.
Adorned with velvet and silk.
Holding Lincoln's open casket.
His open casket.
It must have been an incredibly moving scene.
You can only imagine the outpouring of grief. Just a steady stream of mourners.
I imagine many weeping openly.
Weeping openly, saying goodbye.
To their fallen leader.
To their fallen leader.
And this is just the beginning.
The beginning of a much longer journey.
This journey of Lincoln's body.
Back to Springfield, Illinois.
So this becomes more than just a funeral.
It does. It transforms into a national pilgrimage.
Exactly. So after the service at the White House,
the coffin is transported to the Capitol building,
where it lies in state,
for public viewing.
Public viewing.
Thousands of people lined the streets to witness the procession,
paying their respects.
It's a moment of profound national unity,
with Americans from both North and South
mourning the loss of this man.
The man who held their fractured nation together.
That held it all together.
And then begins this remarkable journey of the funeral train.
It does.
Can you describe that for us?
So on April 21st, Lincoln's coffin is placed on a specially designed funeral train, draped in black crepe.
Wow.
Adorned with flags and flowers.
So the train retraces in reverse the route
that Lincoln took to Washington
for his inauguration 4 years earlier.
Exactly, a symbolic retracing.
Wow.
Of his path to power.
And this train travels through multiple states,
stopping in major cities along the way.
What happened at those stops?
Huge crowds would gather.
Wow.
The coffin would be removed from the train.
Okay.
Placed in public buildings for people to view.
So they could pay their respects.
Pay their respects. It's this wave of grief and remembrance.
Weeping across the nation.
Across the entire nation.
It's incredible to think about the scale of this event.
It's hard to fathom.
The outpouring of emotion just speaks volumes.
It does.
About the impact Lincoln had.
He left an indelible mark.
On the American psyche.
He did.
So this funeral train journey lasts for almost 3 weeks.
Almost 3 weeks.
Covering over 1,600 miles.
It becomes a symbol of Lincoln's enduring legacy.
Wow, and the nation's profound sense of loss.
A profound sense of loss.
And finally, on May 3rd, 1865, Lincoln's body arrives in Springfield, Illinois.
Springfield, Illinois.
He is buried in Oak Ridge Cemetery.
After a funeral attended by tens of thousands.
And his tomb,
this towering granite monument,
becomes a national shrine.
It does.
A place where Americans can come to reflect.
To reflect on his life and his leadership.
On his life and his leadership.
And his impact on history.
So as we reach the end of this deep dive, what are some key takeaways?
I think Lincoln's assassination reminds us of the fragility of democracy.
Right.
And the power of extremism.
Booth, fueled by hate.
Fueled by hate and a distorted worldview.
Tried to undo everything Lincoln worked for.
He wanted to plunge the nation back into chaos.
But his actions tragically had the opposite effect.
They did. It's almost a paradox.
It's almost a paradox, isn't it?
Yeah, an act of violence meant to divide.
Ended up solidifying unity.
Solidifying unity. Lincoln's death solidified his legacy.
As a martyr for unity, freedom, and equality.
For unity, freedom, and equality.
It galvanized the nation's commitment.
To forging ahead with Lincoln's vision.
To forging ahead with his vision.
Of a more just and equitable society.
It also underscores the power of symbolism.
Yes.
The outpouring of emotion during the funeral.
The journey of the funeral train.
These all serve to bind the nation together.
In that moment of profound loss.
These rituals allowed Americans to grieve.
To grieve, to reaffirm their shared values.
And to begin the healing.
And the rebuilding.
And finally, I think Lincoln's assassination reminds us of the importance of leadership.
Of courage, compassion.
A steadfast commitment to ideals.
Even in the face of adversity.
Lincoln's legacy continues to inspire us today.
To remind us of the power of unity and forgiveness.
And belief in a better future.
He showed us even in the darkest of times.
There's always hope.
Always a path towards a more perfect union.
And that concludes our deep dive
into a truly remarkable period in American history.
Into the assassination of Abraham Lincoln.
A story of tragedy, resilience,
and the enduring legacy of a leader who shaped a nation.
A leader who shaped a nation.